But you start to become really good in a niche. Just figure out all the different ways to niche it out. We took a rental property that we had that we were making, a few $100 on, and the people wanted to buy it from us, but they couldn't qualify for a mortgage. So we converted it into a note, made a new asset class, and no longer manage it. And the note pays us additional interest on top of what they owe us. And it took our monthly cash flow up like $600-700 a month positive above what we were getting when we had it as a rental. It's just understanding asset classes and being able to convert those things into income.
No, it makes sense to me.
And you just that whole process of income stacking. It's about compounding. So you carve out what you need to live on and live modestly, and then just reinvest all that income that's coming in off those assets, and you just keep reinvesting it until you keep buying more income. You know how much it takes to have $1 million in savings for retirement? You know what it takes, the equivalent income is?
What's that?
The basic investment rule is that when you get to retirement, you should be somewhere around 4 to 5% that you're going to pull out of your savings to live on. So they call that the 4% rule. There's arguments back and forth whether that's enough, it's not enough. Really, that you can only answer that by knowing how much you have in that account. It's a sliding scale. But if we use that 4% rule, 4% of $1 million is $3,333 a month. Most people look at $1 million, they're 40, 50 years old. They didn't start saving. They screwed up and they can't figure out how to save $1 million to be able to retire. Well, what if you don't need $1 million? You only need $3,333 a month in income. I can show you how to do that in a couple of years, because income is what we need in retirement. They don't teach us that in school. And retirement, all retirement means, most people think it's like, well, when I get to 65, I can retire. No, you can retire when you replace your income. You can retire. You can quit that job that you hate. That's called retirement. You walk away from the job that you hate. That's retirement. Give you the gold watch, give you the little plaque off the door, and congratulations, you've retired. And then you go home and you stress out because you don't have enough money to live on. I'm on a fixed income. I'm a senior. It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, that's why people retire when they're 30 years old, because they've got the income to live off of. It's about creating income streams.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend. Yeah. So to me, when I said I retired to people last summer, it kind of blew their mind.
Yeah.
Because they go, oh, you're retired. And it's funny. You actually inspired me. I'm going to buy my own retirement plaque, and that's beginning to become my North Star for things to go through there. Because retirement to me was stop doing the thing you hate and start doing the thing you love.
Yeah.
Like, because the reality is like, I don't think you have to wait till you're 60, 70 years old to start, like, because at that period of time, so you're going to stop and be like, all right, now I want to spend more time with my grandkids. Now I want to travel to the places I want to travel to. Now I want to go ahead and start woodworking, clean fish tanks, take care of puppies or anything like that. I'm like, so what I refer to it as was like my FU button, freedom unlocked, and I remember like when I first got the desire, I said, hey, I don't want to work somewhere with somebody that I don't really enjoy being in their presence. I don't choose to work with places that don't have integrity and ethics. And I'm going to choose who I'm going to choose to work with, because I know I'm going to do something my entire life. This dog needs to hunt,
Yeah.
But it was the moment that I said, okay, I'm going to build an FU button. The crazy part was that like I hit it, but I was still had the thoughts of being inside the institution, and I look at it as like, I call that the zoo, when you're getting fed, when people are going to come to the class and you can have the class trips are coming on. So you put on the performance for people there. Those are the quarterly business reviews that we would do, or I get to go to sporting events. I get to take clients out. I get to do these things. I get to travel and go see clients and go in their buildings. And then one day I remember sitting there and being like, I fell asleep. I was falling asleep in the middle of a meeting of somebody I was shooting for. And I go, what the hell am I doing?